Hey everybody, it's the Lit Teacher here, and I'm doing a series of debating videos for you. I'm calling them Debate Great, and they're basically just tips, advice, things that I've picked up over the years, top adjudicator takes, if you will, things that I've encountered at the New Zealand Nationals tournament and at regional competitions around the country as well. So let's get straight into a really good piece of advice that I received from a guy called Sam O'Grady. Shout out Sam O'Grady, former president of New Zealand Schools Debating. And it's to do with this thing called silent prep and a question that he asked one of my teams several years ago now. Do you do silent prep? And this was not something I'd ever heard of before, and I'm going to talk you through what it is today. So, before we get into silent prep, I want to talk a little bit about the prepping process and what debating teams typically do during that 30 minutes that you have to prepare. And especially, I'm focusing on those first few minutes, which are really, really critical. So, this is kind of how I see it usually happen, right? And this is how we did it for years. Teams would receive the motion, they'd figure out which side they're on, they'd move to their prepping space, and they'd immediately start talking about the motion, about ideas they had for the debate, things that would eventually evolve into key points within their case. They'd latch onto these key ideas and they'd use those to build a team case. And that sounds like all well and good. So far you're going, well, what's the issue with that? Well, I'll tell you why this can be problematic. So, what tends to happen if you take this approach is this thing called groupthink. And groupthink is essentially kind of some corporate jargon that basically just means everybody kind of starts to think the same way. So as soon as somebody brings up an idea and is like, oh, what about this? This might be really, really good. Everybody else in the team tends to go, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. And they latch onto that idea. And then everybody starts to kind of think the same way. And that can be problematic. And I'll tell you a little bit more specifically why a little bit later. The next thing that happens is the loudest or most dominant voice in the team usually takes control. So, in a team situation, you've got three debaters, everybody should have an equal voice, but often first person to speak, the loudest team member, the more dominant one will take control and start to drive the direction that the case takes. And this can be problematic too. A third thing that happens is more obscure or creative points fail to arise. And this is because a slightly narrower approach to the debate occurs largely because of the groupthink aspect. Because everybody starts to think the same way, kind of peripheral points, more creative, more lateral points tend to fall away or just kind of don't come up at all because everybody's, immediately thinking the same way about the motion. A fourth thing that can happen is just increased stress. So, when there's initial pressure for everybody to just verbalize all of their ideas straight out of the gate, this can become stressful. It can sort of create this situation where people think they just need to say things and it's not necessarily helpful. And this can just increase stress and anxiety within the team, especially for those, quieter members who maybe won't speak up and say something, especially if that loudest voice in the room has taken control. So, what is an alternative to this? Well, the solution is this thing called silent prep. And this is exactly what Sam O'Grady told my team. And my team deployed this, and things started to go really well for us afterwards. And now I encourage all of my teams to do it. So, what is silent prep? Well, it's essentially a process where you protect the first few minutes of prep time by devoting that time to silence. So what happens is you get the motion, you figure out what side you're on, and then nobody says anything. You would walk to your prep space with no discussion at all. You'd be really, really strict about this. And after a few minutes, you'll break the silence to kind of talk about the ideas that you've come up with as an individual, and then you'd use that to build your case. So, why does it work? Well, it avoids groupthink, right? Because immediately you're kind of silent, you're thinking about this on your own individually, and then you have that opportunity to come back to the group and share your ideas. Everybody's not latching onto that one point straight away and kind of narrowing the focus of the debate. You relieve pressure. Everybody gets those first few minutes quiet time to just think about what they want to do and kind of approach it in their own way. And this can be super helpful, especially like if I'm going to put it out there for some of the neurodiverse debaters. that I see who really need a little bit of time to just process what's happening, that silent time can really be helpful to avoid the chaos of the prep room that inevitably occurs anyway. Stronger points tend to come up. So when everybody's individually coming up with a similar idea, you could probably go, well, it must be a good idea if after, a couple of minutes of silent prep, we've all arrived at the same point. Maybe that should be one of our main points because it seems like we've all thought of it. Or alternatively, it can point to the fact that it's a really obvious point. And if you're going to go with it, you're going to need to make sure that that point is really, really watertight and you've thought it through very carefully. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, and this has actually been pivotal in some wins that my teams have had at really important competitions, is that more unusual or creative points will come out of this process. And this can definitely be debate winning, especially if you're looking for that third split point, which is often where you'll go with something that's like a little bit out the gate, a little bit strange, a little bit sort of more unexpected. Those points tend to come out of the silent prep process because your brain, after a couple of minutes of thinking about things, will go in different directions and you come out with something that's kind of weird, but also kind of brilliant. So what does this process look like? Let me talk you through it. So imagine you're at a competition, they've released the motion. The first thing to do is just like clarify. Would be the only verbalization that you would do with your team, is just clarify which side of the debate you're on. You wouldn't want to like not talk to your team and then go through your silent prep process and then realize that you've misinterpreted which side of the debate you're actually on. So go, okay, this is the motion. So we're on the affirming side. That means this. All right, okay. Now we can shut up and let's go to our space. Sometimes when I'm at debating competitions, you have to like walk, to the room where you'll be prepping. Something you really need to do in that situation is move silently and try to tune out the voices that you might hear around you, because sometimes you're walking in the same direction with other teams. Those teams could be on the same side of the debate as you. They might already be talking about things. You want to kind of shut those voices out because you don't want those things that they are saying to kind of infiltrate your brain at that point either. Unless it's like the other team and, they're telling you basically what their case is going to be, and that could be an advantage, but that's a whole nother discussion. So anyway, you get to the prep room. Somebody needs to be responsible for setting a timer. So, somebody's got a watch in there because often you don't have your phones, for example, if it's a really strict locked off debating competition. 2 to 3 minutes is kind of what we're talking about here. So you might want to set it like 2.5, 3 minutes. And during that time, everybody silently, I reinforce that again, silently would brainstorm their points on paper. So you're sitting there scribbling away, bullet pointing things that you're thinking of. When the timer sounds, everybody comes back together and you just simply share your ideas. I've got this, this, this. What have you got? Well, I've got this, this, this. What have you got? This, this, this. Okay. I can see some overlap here. So maybe should we go with that point? Yeah, that sounds really good. Oh, and also that point that you've come up with there, I didn't think of that, but that's actually brilliant. That could be a really strong point. Should we put that at third point, split point, for example? So sit down, talk through that, and then you can splinter off and kind of do your own individual prep, write your speeches, come up with your POIs, all that sort of thing. So that's kind of the process that I would go through with my team, and try it. I think it'll make an amazing difference to the way that you prepare. And like I said, you probably find you come out with some really interesting ideas because you're avoiding that group think dynamic. So that's my first video, Debate Great. Shout out Sam O'Grady for your advice to my team. I think we actually won the regional competition the following year after we put that into practice. So just want to point that out. It was really a game-changing strategy for my team to adopt the silent prep process. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to do some more videos in the Debate Great series. I've got about 6 or 7 up my sleeve. So if you like and subscribe, that really encourages me, and I'll come out with more of these as soon as I can. Until next time, ka kite.